Peace and blessings, son people. It's GrandKush. This is the GrandKush channel. Thanks for falling in to preview the video. I want to say salute to all my son people out there. It's been a minute, like I said, but I'm back up in it with this good content, this nine science. And we got a great video today. And I don't do a lot of reaction videos, but I want to react to this one. Okay. Y'all see what's up on the board, on the screen, I should say. This is no jumper. I don't really care about no jumper like that because I don't really care for Adam deuce like that. Adam 16, you know. But I think this might be one of his best episodes, one of his best podcast episodes. Okay. The title reads, Black Conservative and White Racist Go to War in Intense Debate. Now, I had to watch the whole video before I reacted to it because I was curious and intrigued to hear what this white racist by the name of, he goes by IHypocrite, what this white nationalist had to say, right? And you know what's funny about these white racists, these white nationalists, they think we pull the victim card a lot. No, they do. They pull the victim card a lot, right? They need people to blame for the issues that their ancestors caused, okay? And I'm going to preview a little bit of this. I'm not going to go into the whole video and the whole debate, but Brandon starts really slicing and dicing once you start getting to like halfway through this video. He starts slicing and dicing. And I want to give a salute to Brandon being one of the speakers at No Jumper, being one of the podcasters at No Jumper. He has his own podcast. He has his own channel. Go check out Brandon. I don't know what his channel goes by, but I'm sure by watching No Jumper, a lot of people know who this brother is. And we come from the same areas, and those who come from the same areas kind of have the same mind state, right? Based on the environment that we had to deal with. We kind of, depending on if you on revolution and liberation, you're about black upliftment, black enlightenment, and things of that nature. We tend to know what's going on with the ills in our community. I want to salute Brandon, this brother standing up against two racists, IHypocrite and Adam 16, right? Because Adam 16, when you listen to the video, he's leaning on the side of his milky counterpart. I want to give a salute to Brandon. I know I said this 3 times, but Brandon held his own. There's one intellectual on this video, and that's the brother Brandon, okay? Listening to the video, Mr. Milk, IHypocrite, he didn't know. He couldn't handle Brandon. He couldn't handle Brandon, and he couldn't handle Brandon because white privilege deems that you don't have to understand and know about Black culture and what's associated negatively to Black culture. Black people know about white culture in America. We've had to study white culture since slavery. Another thing Mr. Milk didn't want to do, right? Because they say, hey, man, Black people always talking about slavery, always talking about the white man did it. It's the white man, it's the white man, it's the white man, right? But he knew nothing about slavery. He knew nothing about how Black people, FBAs, if you will, foundational Black Americans, assisted the white people in America economically. The white victim role is dead. You have to take accountability for what you have done, the mistakes you've made, the negatives you implemented into society. Another thing I want to say about Mr. Milk. He showed up with a white cotton t-shirt on with a silver cross on it. Now, we know about cotton in America, okay? When it comes down to cotton, Black people should be at the top. We picked it. We picked it. But we know why we are not at the top of any industry, right? And so white victimhood is dead. And do Black people really care about white victimhood? Do we really care? When we think about the ills and the problems in America, because Mr. Milk, right, in his perspective, in his old ass mind and his old ass ways of thinking, these white nationalists continue to think that what's happening on in society is Black people. It's the problem is Black people, because Black people lack discipline. When Black people go unchecked, there's problems. But they care not to understand the reasons why. Because when you go back to the reasons why, it's not necessarily us that caused the problem. It's his ancestors. Brandon handled these two white races properly. He stayed on point, and Mr. Milk, IHypocrite, didn't get it, couldn't stand on his white victimhood business. He couldn't handle Brandon. I urge, and I hate to say this, but I urge my brothers and sisters to go check this show out. And I say I hate to say this because it's going to run Adam 16's numbers up. But maybe we need to let Adam 16 see this, because how is Adam 16 existing? He's existing off the energy of Black people. Whether they're gangsters or not, they are Black people. And see, Mr. Milk, IHypocrite, he tried to separate the Jews from the British, from the Germans. And like Brandon said, y'all all white people to us. Okay, without us, what would you have done? Mr. IHypocrite said, our founding fathers made America white for white people. And Brandon said, then why did you go get Black people? Okay. Why did you take advantage of the Mexicans? Why did you take advantage of the Chinese? He even mentioned there's a plethora of Hindus taking over in America. but white people want to shut the borders down. Who opened up the fucking borders? White people. So you can't say the founding fathers made America white for white people and then go get black people to do the work for you. Free labor. Man, Brandon went in. Brandon went in. There's a point where he even said, hey, man, black people and white people going head up. He was like, you want to go outside right now and get this fade. He didn't say it like that, and he was joking. But black people are not playing. Mr. Milk said white people are fatigued because we're dying out here by the hands of black people. This whole Brandon was on point. He went into welfare indirectly. He went into why black fathers are not in the picture. Discipline on our kids and being locked up for disciplining your kids and things of that nature. If you leave white people, if you leave kids alone to their own devices, no matter what race, what are they going to do? The proper thing or the degenerate thing? Mr. Milk didn't know. He doesn't know because they don't know black culture. We're dying at the hands of black people. Whoa. We're fatigued. And you can see that sun energy, my people. What is Nuwapu? What is Noon Science? What is 9 ether, 6 ether, 3 ether? What is sound right reasoning? Whether you accept it or not, we are looking at it right now. A 9 ether being versus 3 ether beings. We are the civilizers. We are the intellects. We are the educated. Mr. Milk standing on. Without us, what would the black people do? If you leave black people to their own autonomy, there's going to be violence. Why are you worried about us? Oh, we're killing white people. If that's the case, statistically, white people have taken out more black people outside of war. White people have taken out numerous of black people more than black people have killed white people, if that's his real argument. We know this to be true. They have no care and concern for what black people have went through in America that they've caused. We excel in everything. And then you know what they say, but when it comes down to the mind and education and intellectualism, this is where we beat you, black people. But if you look at any white degenerate in white society and ask that kid to adulthood, right, why he didn't excel in his own society, more than likely it's because his parents are degenerates or they have degenerate minds, because these white rich kids don't want to follow in their father's footsteps. They want to have fun, just like black kids, Mexican kids, Chinese kids. We all want to have fun. There's degenerates in every society. But when you have money and you're a degenerate, we are degenerates. There's degenerates in our society because of lack of money, because of lack of discipline, because of incorrect guidance, because of lack of discipline. So when you level us up, right? When you level us up, when the white kid has more, then he shouldn't be a degenerate in society. When you look at all these liberal movements, the LGBTQ community, which includes the transmissions. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the privately owned prison systems, when you look at hip hop, when you look at drugs, when you look at alcoholism, these are really not black problems. These are white problems. And if you do any amount of research in American society and why the negatives are here, they're not going back to the Mexican. Okay? They're not going back to the black people. They're not going back to the Chinese people, but people of color do crime better because we've been the most oppressed. If you want to say we do crime, but we don't even do crime better. We're victims of a system that they created. And so when resources are snatched from us and we get out there in them streets, they don't like it. They don't want to have to deal with it. But who was the first gangsters out there in them streets? The straight-haired white mankind racists. They're not even mankind races, a part of the mankind races. They're mutants. I'm going to speak freely because the white race and the black race in America is not the same. Brandon said a lot. When you take the ability of parents, black parents, to stay together and raise their kids, and there's incentives and a system where you give the black mother a home, entitlements, right? And then you take the black man out of the house, and then you make a condition where we are back and forth, especially over the kids. What do you think will happen? And this is the ignorance. This is the type of shit that pisses me off. This is the ignorance about them. Because when it comes down to the projects, they were in the projects first. Now, I'm sure some projects were made to house the blacks after this, after Reconstruction era and things of that nature. But when you research them projects, just like the Jews, not the original Jews, they're not the original Jews, coming out of their situation, ghetto comes from them. The term ghetto is not a black term. But let me freeze right there because I spoke too much on this already as an intro. Brandon held his own, and like I say, I urge black people, my people, brothers and sisters, to go check out this brother. Go listen to what this brother said and how he handled it. I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and you know, if my system allows me to do it, I may pause and interject, but I'm not gonna play this for too long. I'm not gonna play this for too long. I want to see how long I've been in already. Okay, I'm not gonna play this for too long. I might chime in, like I said, and give my 9 cents, but the brother did his thing, man. The brother did his thing. Let's listen to Brandon smash Milky, IHypocrite, the white nationalist, on the aspects of American culture. Let's go.
A little bit of a spat on Twitter with another user by the name of Bryson, right?
Yeah, Bryson Gray. Yeah.
You guys are going back and forth. I don't know exactly what it was about, but it was proposed that you guys could do a debate of some sort, and you guys were both down. You both agreed to it, and you actually spoke to him. He agreed to come out here. We found out like 2 days ago that in actuality, he did not come out here and he had no plans on coming out here. I'm not sure exactly how that got lost in translation, but I figured this guy right next to me, Brandon, has been making a lot of noise on the channel. Very opinionated guy, very politically involved, aware, etc. And I figured as long as we didn't have our original opponent for you, I might as well see what the chemistry is like here.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Come and test that brain. Now, my people, I want to say this. Aside from our skin color, which y'all know nothing about, our skin color is God's skin. We the original God people, right? And if anybody wants to debate that of the milky kind, step up on my platform and come holler at me. But inside of these skulls is brains, okay? Inside of these skulls is brains, right? All is brain, and that's what we don't understand. This is how we connect to the cosmic forces, positive and negative, by way of thoughts, how we think, right? This is the spirit, okay? And so inside of these brains, right, one brain is not cancerous, the other brain is mutated in a cancerous brain, okay? So we are not the same. Okay? In some cases, even people, you know, their upper echelon of their milky race are degenerates because they're prone to be off, right? And they threw us off. Let's go in.
Appreciate it. Thanks for doing it, man. Nice to meet both of you.
Definitely. And so for our audience, I guess maybe a little bit of a backstory about you and where you're coming from and everything would be appropriate. I guess I found out about you because you have a very provocative Twitter account. IHypocrite is your username on there. We can link to it in the description and everything like that. But yeah, how did you get started in content creation?
Oh man, it's been a long journey. I've been doing this for like 10 years, and basically it's a long story. I'll give you like the really short version. I was kind of like a degen, liberal, druggy, promiscuous, all that stuff. Got a girl pregnant, had to be a dad, realized there was going to be a conflict to do both of them. I mean,
now check how he said he started off. He was a degenerate. He was promiscuous. He was dealing with drugs. He got a girl pregnant. Ain't that the same shit they be screaming on us about? But he'll tell you, I never carried a gun. I never went and was a part of a gang. And woo. We don't know what you were doing. Okay? Crime is a little different when it comes down to black people and white people. There's reasons for this. Poverty, maybe, right? Are always there. You can make it. You can pull yourself up from the bootstraps when you're white. If you clean yourself up. Drugs is taking them out. Opioids is taking him out. But he was a degenerate. Listen to what Brandon says.
I was a total up. I was like broke all the time and that. So I decided to like get my act together, quit smoking weed all the time, quit playing video games all the time. And then I just had like time on my hands. And that's when I started making content because I saw other people doing it and making money. I was like, shit, I could do that.
Mm-hmm. So with his privileges, he didn't know what to do with his life. Imagine wanting to do something with your life, but there's obstacles in your way. At least back then for us, there were major obstacles in the way. Imagine wanting to do something, but there's major obstacles in your way. Mr. White Privilege, what obstacle was in your way other than your lame ass brain sitting there, don't want to do anything, smoke weed and play video games and things of that nature, have sex, drink beer, alcohol, abuse, all of this stuff, get a girl pregnant, you're laying up, and then you like, epiphany. I need to do something with my life. How great is it for you that when you say, I need to do something with my life, you have the resources and the means to do so? Let's continue.
So that's basically how it started. And then it's been like a long journey. Like I found Jesus along the way. I became Christian. I got married. I have a family now with more kids. And yeah, that's the Cole's Notes version.
Okay. And
Let's talk about Jesus right quick and that cross, the crucifixion and death. They didn't want Jesus to live. They had to kill him. They didn't want us to live. They were killing us. So he found Jesus. What is the complexion of Jesus Christ? And that's why my ticker down here, give up the ghost kind religion, because there is no milky white person that's going to be a savior of black people ever. There's not going to be a milky white person that's going to be a savior of black people. Never. The white power mind state behind these hypocrites, right, is Jesus Christ. Oh, but Jesus Christ is for everybody. Okay, so here's the question. If Jesus Christ in America was Mexican, would that empower white people? They couldn't allow it. If Jesus Christ was actually black and in every church in America there was black cheeses, would that empower white people? They couldn't have that. So my people, why do you think a white Jesus is going to empower you and think this is the true and real Son of God when they wear on their chest death? Okay, that cross is not long enough at the top because it used to be a sword. Okay. And instructions from the king and the queen and their nations to go out and slaughter people of color with their edicts. Let's continue.
And yeah, where would you identify yourself as being at politically at this time?
Pretty far right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And has that?
So he was a degenerate liberal, right, Democrat, who is now far white based on what? As he goes to explain, it's going to be his milky emotions. It's going to be his milky emotions.
That been a bit of a journey, I guess. Like, where did you get radicalized?
Disclaimer: no black person is really racist. Okay, but we have a feeling and an emotion about what happened to our ancestors. Okay, white people do not have this same problem where black people went into their growing towns and cities and we slaughtered people. We kidnapped people. We RAP'd the women, right? We snatched up children. We experimented. We didn't do that. Right? We never did that. So we have a feeling about the boogeyman. They said we was the boogeyman. We have a feeling. We have a fear. We have a natural born fear for the boogeyman. Okay? Ghostbusters.
Along this path.
Yeah. So it's like I said, I started all the way progressive, normal, liberal, went to sort of the anti-SJW thing. That was kind of like the first step.
He said normal and liberal.
in 2015. That was when I got into making YouTube videos, and just kind of a frustration of all these people are annoying, you know, all the virtue signaling, all that kind of stuff that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the stuff being shoved in your face. So, and they were just kind of dumb, like a lot of the gender stuff too. A lot of the stuff they said didn't make sense. So from there, and then I started to like learn a lot about racial issues, red pills about like crime statistics, you know, Muslim terrorism was happening a lot back then. And just kept pushing me further and further to the right, basically.
Definitely. Well, so for people out there that are just tuning into this conversation for the first time and don't know about Brandon, do you affiliate yourself more with the conservative side of things as well?
Yeah, I'm more right leaning. Yeah.
And you haven't been familiar with his content until I sent you his accounts and everything?
No, never heard of him.
Okay. You say that in kind of a dismissive way right there.
No, I've never heard of him.
He's not making enough noise for me to pay attention
You're
to.
reading into that.
Okay.
Just never heard of him.
I'm analyzing your voice a lot today.
Okay.
I called you Zesty right before we started too, which is problematic.
Zesty, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so
here's the thing, right? They throw a lot of jabs at Brandon, right? And he just dismissed it. Because when you know you're really the strongest race, okay, we don't care about white victimhood. I don't, right? I don't. And Brandon explains it, why we may not care, but we want things better. We want things fair. And IHypocrite, he doesn't want it fair. He doesn't seem to want it better, right? He wants to blame Black people. And so they throw these little jabs. Even at one point, my man said Brandon looked like a gorilla. And Brandon just laughed. Because when you're an intellectual, when you research and you study, like we're able to study right now, you see that all of that stuff is jealousy, envy, and hate. And a white person who say we don't hate the Black people, right? Well, y'all got so much money. Put up, we'll send Black people to Africa again. Pay for that again. Not only that, put a little bit of money in the economy in Africa where we're going. Because I really think Black people need to start connecting with Black people politically. The islands, South America, Africa, Europe, wherever Black people are at. Okay? We need not separate from each other. And this is because of 9 Ether. All right? The white man said, IHypocrite said he don't even like the Jews. So you're all white, right? A lot of this stuff that Brandon is hitting on, right? Especially when we start talking about fathers and discipline. I have 2 sons. I have 2 sons. And I live in the suburbs of Illinois. They go to good schools. They're doing great. They're doing better than I did growing up. I come from a single parent household. And how do you think Black fathers, whether they're in the home or not in the home, now some of us are degenerates, but for a lot of us, we want to help our kids. Some of y'all fathers be like, I got all these millions, you're not getting none of my money. If we had millions, we would pour money into our kids. So check out these little jabs that they throw at Brandon, right? You know what I'm saying? Because they can't get with him intellectually.
I guess we should confront this head on. When I was describing this debate, which was supposed to be with somebody else at first, when I was describing it on a previous episode in a jumper, which I don't know if you actually caught wind of it, but I essentially referred to you as being sort of outwardly, openly racist.
Yes.
Does that seem like a true statement, or
Yeah,
would you like to add caveats?
No, no, I say that I'm racist. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know what it means to be racist. Like, I have a black person over for dinner. You know what I mean? It's not like a hateful. It's not like I can't be around them or anything like that. But I think that we need
Fool. Okay. Y'all, he got a fade on his head, man. He got damn near the same haircut Brandon got. We cleaned y'all up, man. You talking about you don't have no hate? You do have a hate, man. Go ahead and let it be known, homie. You know what I'm saying? We know y'all don't love black people. And the whites that love black people is because, man, we're funner to be around. We're cool to be around. We do everything better. It's not a hate. You got a fade on your head, man. Now we can go into, I'm not gonna go into the fade, right? But who rocks the fade? We rock the fade more than the Romans rocked it. To me, it's a Roman haircut. They faded they stuff on the side. But kill that noise. We rock the fade. Everybody, every race in America is rocking the fade. That's clean. That's how you go get that's how you bite our style. But see, biting our style give y'all fools energy. He said he was fatigued, right? Look at Brandon's energy. And look at, I'm getting tired right now, listening to all that knowledge. They in there yawning. We're not never yawning when we up against the oppressor. We not never slipping and like not paying attention when it comes to the oppressor. These fools in there yawning. He's talking about let's desegregate. You don't really want to take it there because he's all in their mind. They talk about we got all these weapons and stuff. Now put the weapons down. Popo, they come talk to us. Put the weapons down. And then let's see. Head to head. Right? Cause y'all don't come out the jungle. You see what I'm saying? Jungle brothers, y'all don't come out the jungle.
Well, basically, white people need more racial consciousness. They need to start acting like a group because all the other races do that already. And so it's just kind of to our detriment that we're the only ones playing this like blank slate egalitarianism game, and where no one's on a team. We're all Team America or whatever people want to say. But all the other races are kind of like, no, we're a team. And you see a lot of that in what's built up to this. Like the Shiloh Hendricks thing was kind of one of the catalysts for this debate. One of the catalysts for that was the Carmelo Anthony thing. You see the way a lot of people rallied around him, giving him money. There was another one that happened this week too with this Rodney Hinton Jr. guy. I don't know if you guys heard that story. This guy, his son like stole a car, was in a police chase. The police chased him. He had a gun. The police shot him. He died. His father, Rodney Hinton Jr., got in his car, went and found an on-duty police guy and killed him. The guy had nothing to do with what happened to his son, but he just wanted to go out and like get back one of theirs kind of thing. He's got a fundraiser now where they've raised like $50,000 from him. And they'll lie about what happened. They'll say the kid was innocent. With the Carmelo Anthony thing, they'll say, look, he was like this grade A all-star captain of the football team, choir boy. And it's like, none of it is true. You know what I mean? Or at least with the Carmelo Anthony.
And so this is what they expect, my people. That they can do the shit to us. The police can shoot us. The doctors can When our women go deliver their babies, they can interfere. They can inject us, right? They can experiment on us. They can take money and resources out of our community. They can do this stuff to us. But when things happen to them on a very small scale, they turn into little bitches. Okay? They turn into, I don't know where, I think I want to play the whole thing. I think I want to play the whole thing. But this is going to make the video very huge. It's going to take up a lot of time. But Brandon handled this fool properly.
Stuff, none of it's been substantiated. So there's a lot of lying, and it's just kind of this racial tribalism where they come together and defend their own, and white people don't do that, and it's to our detriment. But there's more and more and more white people who are getting fed up. You're going to see the word fatigue a lot in the coming days. People are going to say, they're like, we're tired of this.
We should be tired. We should be fatigued. But we don't rock like that because we got all the energies. We're the natural batteries to keep it going, right? We keep it going. They're fatigued. Why? Because nature is now beginning to tax them for the wrongs and injustices that they committed against God's children. That they didn't pay for then, but they have to pay for now. Because there's no mercy and forgiveness in our science. Okay? Nature does not deal with mercy and forgiveness. So when you do crimes, injustices, but my ancestors did that. It's ancestor descendant for a reason, because these are your family members. If we did what the white man did back in the day to white people, and 150 years passed, and white people are the degenerate society, do you think they would be mad? Or they'll be like, oh man, that's just a condition. That's just what happened to us, right? Do you think they'd be like, man, we tired of the gorillas, man. We gotta fight back. You seen it done in Planet of the Apes. The apes took over. The white man said, hell nah. We are. And so I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot, that they be pitching a bitch. Right? They be pitching a bitch. We've never did to y'all, white people, what y'all have done to us. Y'all don't even think about. How are you an intellect and you're educated, right? When you can't even see that the obstacles placed in front of black people by your people is what set us back. That your involvement, that your integration is what set us back. We did not set ourselves back. You set us back. Who brought the drugs into our communities? But anyway, let's continue.
We're tired of like the constant indignities. The murders is a big part, because there's a lot of murders that are black on white, and we see those all the time. There's another one this week. This girl Logan Federico, a really beautiful blonde girl, killed by just this like soulless black guy who went into her car to her house rather to get her credit cards or whatever. And it hurts me, man, when I see it. It hurts me, and I've been seeing it.
He's so much of Adam said, hey, Brandon, I'm going to check your voice. He's so much of a pussy, it sounded like he was about to cry. Do you see what I'm saying? It sounded like he was about to cry. Man, come on, man.
Every day for like 10 years. And I think the Shiloh Hendricks thing, that was the reason people gave her so much money, was they're sending the message of, we are getting tired of this.
No, definitely. It feels like that scenario definitely doesn't play out the same way without the Carmelo Anthony thing fresh in people's memory, which is, you know, not to say that white people don't have some secret affinity for hurling the N-word at people on a playground, but it definitely feels like there's this kind of rise in white consciousness of their own race, where there's so many things throughout our, you know, the last, you know, throughout my life that I've observed where it's like there's tribalism allowed by everybody except for white people. They're just not allowed to express any kind of solidarity or pride in being white, right? And even you, I think, would acknowledge that, right?
No, I mean, I acknowledge it too.
You see how he gave it? Even you would say that that's correct, right? Fuck nah, nigga. Nah, I don't agree with that shit. But let's listen to Brandon.
To a certain extent, I think you're very like misinformed. Dylan Roof had people trying to donate to him. Many mass shooters who are white had donations funds started, but white-owned donation vehicles like GoFundMe, GiveSend, and Go shut those down. So look at Shiloh Hendricks, for example, Kyle Rittenhouse, which I think Kyle Rittenhouse didn't do anything wrong, but there was this significant push by non-white people and white people to demonize Rittenhouse. He still was allowed to have a GoFundMe. So I believe white people kind of started that, like, you're going to do something messed up and we're going to throw our financial might behind it. So what you are, you're not even a racist, which that already makes me kind of look at you weird. There's only one race, human beings. You break us down beyond the skin, we're exactly the same.
If you or a loved one were sexually abused at these Illinois youth facilities or treatment.
A few fast twitch muscles.
This is where I disagree. Okay, I'm not going to get deep into it, but I explained it. And he said, once you get inside of us, we're all the same. We're not. On a genetic level, on a chromosomal level, on a level where our skin is different, we are not the same. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean, GrandKush? What do you mean? Well, I always put this in my videos if I'm talking about it. And so I'm going to just make it real simple. We're not going to go into it a whole lot, right? We're not going to go into it a whole lot. But let's take it to Wiki. And this is kind of getting off. But I want us to understand, okay, that the way we think is not the same. The way we do things in culture is not the same. The abilities that we have as human beings is not the same. Okay? Now, what they have the capability and ability to do is mimic. I'll give you an example. White people created basketball. We took it to the next level. But because we took it to the next level, we set a precedence, right? And so now there are white people, there are other people of color that play basketball who have the ability to do what we did when nobody could do it. You understand what I'm saying? And so they are not innovators. And this is why we're different. We are. So let's go here. This science, my people, is very important. Okay. It's not enough to just talk about the greatness of Black people in history. it's more uncommon to talk about the greatest of black people, how they are and how they were made and created by God, right? And because this is the reason that we have some of the capabilities and abilities to connect to nature that we have, is because of this synthesizing of melanin. There are white people called this black, this pigment that we have and lack thereof. They called it black. It could have been called anything, okay? But they called it black. And what does blackness do? As in black people of these biomolecules organized, right, as oligomers and polymers, which among other functions provide the pigments of many organisms. Melanin pigments are produced in a specialized group of cells known as melanocytes, a specialized group of cells. Black people are specialized people. Okay, let's continue. There are 5 basic types of melanin. Eumelanin, pheomelanin, neuromelanin are the most important melanins in a human being. Okay, so when I say human, I'm talking about us. When I say mankind races, I'm talking about dark-skinned people with straight hair. But they got white features. See, that's where white people come from, is dark-skinned people with straight hair, straight black hair and black eyes. They're mutated out of these races. Okay? Now you got to ask yourself, because we don't care if white people don't like how black Africans look. We don't care if they're not the most, if they think that we're not, or they're the pure Africans are not the most attractive, beautiful people on the planet. We don't care about that, because we know what beauty is. And what they want in a woman, we more than likely want the opposite. They want teeny weeny twiggy. We like our women thick, bodacious, a lot of body. And you know what? Your race of women and the rest of these people of color's women they like it too. Okay? And so, yay, black queen, black goddess. Because you may not like it, Mr. Milky, but that's a goddamn lie. You may have liked it so much and it's swept under that you swept under the rug that Becky want a big booty. It's not Sir Mix-a-Lot no more. I like Big's butts, and when I like it loud, and Becky was in the beginning like, look at her butts. This no more. Okay? Ramona Ramirez want the big butt. Europeans want the big butt. Okay? Obviously, the BBL, the Brazilian butt lift, did not start with black women. But see, that's a deeper thing. Let's continue to go in. Let's continue to go in, because we got to understand this, okay? And so, phenotypic color variation observed in the epidermis and hair of mammals is primarily determined by the levels of eumelanin and pheomelanin in the examined tissue. In an average human individual, eumelanin is more abundant in tissues requiring photoprotection. Let's read that again. In an average human individual, eumelanin is more abundant in tissues requiring photoprotection. Okay, so when we dealing with America, right? The colonizers coming over here, and like my man saying, because he'll get to it, the white people created America for white people. This is not even your home. That's not We're not talking about nature. We are talking about intrusion. Okay? You in places where you're not even supposed to be, but you've mixed in with the people of color and you became a daywalker. Blade. You became a daywalker. It shows you that. That's why they wanted Blade's blood. They wanted the melanin. Okay? See, y'all talking about white fatigue. My Negro, black fatigue. We've been tired of y'all fools for a long time. Okay? And maybe we waking up to understand that maybe it's now our time to start listening to each other and start healing our communities. But like Brandon said, when we want to fix it, and even if we had the thought to fix it, they're going to send the white man in there and lock us up. Because y'all want us to be in these conditions that you can continue to blame and say, this is the reason why we're degenerates really, but we have this wealth and we have this illusion of power and things of that nature. And so when we got our feet on their necks, that makes us feel better. We're better people. You don't want to be held accountable for it though. In healthy subjects, epidermal melanin is correlated with UV exposure. UV exposure and melanin, they go together. Okay? But this is not even skin. This is neuromelanin in the brain. You take black out the brain, your shit not gonna work. So I would think lesser degrees of neuromelanin, degeneracy. Okay, they trying to hold it, but it's becoming apparent. He said normal liberal, nigga, abnormal mutant. Bizarro, right? Bizarro. Y'all want it unnatural. Y'all want it AI, okay? Y'all want computer systems. Y'all want artificial synthetic veins in a biological, biomolecular human being. That's what y'all want. Y'all want robots. Y'all want synthetic fleshy skin on metal beings, and y'all want to sleep with them. You would probably go as far as, what if they can have kids, robot kids, stupid shit like that. Destroying the earth for your own vicious, selfish gains because of how your brains work. Come on, man, let's go. Let's speak on it. Let's speak on it, because there was a time where Black people couldn't speak. There was a time where Black people couldn't defend themselves in court, and they like have their days in court and things of that nature. There was a time where Black people couldn't even represent themselves, have a lawyer or anything like that. We were just guilty, and that old ass thinking in them old ass ways, that shit not working no more. Okay? We sell things off who we are. Y'all sell things because they've been like Clarks. Like I rock Clarks. Okay? I don't rock Jordans. I don't have a problem with Jordans. I don't have a problem with Nikes. But God damn it, them Nike stocks went up. When Adidas stocks went up. When we started rocking them, these shoes were not made for Black people to go stand on the corner, drive his Escalade, roll in his foreign, stand in the crib, go to the club, go to the party. These shoes were not made for us. Run DMC rocking Adidas, shell-toe Adidas was the greatest thing that happened for Adidas. Michael Jordan creating a Jordan, or however that came together, Oh, you seen like air. Michael Jordan was not thinking about a shoe. But if you put you on it and say this is exclusive, your shit, this is not just Nike, it's the Air Jordan. What did Nike stocks do? Black people are not just dying over Air Jordans today. Let's go. Okay. UV exposure, why retinal, melanin has been found to correlate with age, with levels diminishing 2.5-fold between the first and ninth decades of life. Over time, right? 9 ether becomes 6 ether. Now, this is not just human activity. This is cellular activity. This is solar activity. Okay, this is cosmic activity, right? That is just like running. If you run top speed, eventually you're going to fatigue and get tired. Okay, our fatigue though run in the millions. Their fatigue runs in the thousands. They're getting fatigued. Pretty soon, they're not going to be able to handle the system that they created. Everything is going to take over. Okay? Black people assisting the true monkeys, right? There's a sense of control that we have. Okay? And people do not talk about that. And so imagine if black people stop being the pawns in your game. Because really, once our sisters wake up, when our sisters wake up and they feel and they realize that they better than today's program and they've been duped, oh, hell gonna break loose on y'all. When our black women stand up, I'm gonna do another segment on this. When our black women stop trying to compete with what y'all think is beautiful, and they say, hey, this is what this is all for. From coming from a black man, if a black man is disseminating knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right, in a revolutionary mental capacity, then you know you need to know first, this is for his women and his children. With God is the Lord. Okay? And God made me the Savior. Not no other so-called cosmic mortal man in the white looking like fucking Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, hippie? Hip hop. Hippie, right? That's an African word. But you probably wouldn't even know that because you don't know nothing like that. Of life. Oh, we're so amazed at what the Africans doing. We was here before y'all. We've been doing it. That's crazy. Which has been attributed to oxidative degradation mediated by reactive oxygen species generated via lipofuscin, I hope I said that right, dependent pathways. Now, I understand all of that except this lipofuscin dependent. That's something I have to study. You got to study. You got to be an intellect. In the absence of albinism or hyperpigmentation, the human epidermis contains approximately 74% eumelanin and 26% pheomelanin, largely irrespective of skin tone, skin tone, with eumelanin content ranging between 71.8 to 78.9%, and pheomelanin varying between 21.1 and 28.2%. Y'all knew this. See, the Greeks told y'all and the Romans told y'all when we went and encountered the Africans, people in Africa. Okay. When we went and encountered the Africans, North, East, West, South Africa, the Africans, they were the greatest people that we ever, the most beautiful people that we ever encountered. They are diverse, from the lightest of the cocoa browns to the darkness of the blue blacks. And these people seem to be ancient. They're doing things that we never have fathomed. Black Panther. Hypocrite, oh man, y'all just be doing everything, man. Y'all always say it's this and this, and it is. What we say is the truth. What you say is falsehood. You speak with a forked tongue. What we say is the truth. What you say is falsehood. You speak with a forked tongue. The ghost has never been fair because his cellular biomolecular structure is not fair. Well, it is fair, but it's not fair. Okay? You're deemed to issues. Let's continue. In the human skin, melanogenesis. Melanogenesis. What is the difference between genesis and melanogenesis except that melano-black genesis? Melanogenesis is black genesis. Is initiated by exposure to UV radiation. Why is there a God outside of the sun? Who is he? Who is she? Who is we outside of the sun? Tell us, please. Who is God outside the sun? And what is his purpose? His purpose was to create your mind state so you can say, hey, yay, this is what it is. So say God. Is that why you was made? Okay, God said, hey, go down there and let them know I did this shit. Okay? That couldn't have been no white man. Because y'all not doing anything in America that we hold on to. Okay? When I see an older brother, 50, 55 with dad shoes on, hey, them New Balance with the extra heels, I say I will never wear those shoes. Okay? I'm gonna always be fresh, right? As deemed to be. Let's go. Melanogenesis is initiated by exposure to UV radiation. And why do we stay black though? And y'all tan a little bit and then y'all go back. But see, y'all not supposed to tan. That's what y'all think. So you need artificial melanin. Y'all not supposed to tan. But see, getting darker, going to toast yourself a little bit, going to get in the oven a little bit, you're not supposed to do that. And what does that cause? It's going to tell you. Causing the skin to darken. Melanin is an effective absorbent. And see, when you absorb too much, you can't handle it. Y'all don't like it. Y'all don't like that black culture is popping right now. You're absorbing too much UV radiation. You absorbing too much UV radiation. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stop this right here. I'm going to stop this right here. Let's get back to the little bit program that we was on with Brandon, right? But that's you, melanin and field melanin. We are not the same. And this is where, I would say, Brandon, you might need a little bit more research scientifically, but it's okay. Brandon held his ground. Let's go.
Soul twitch muscles might be a little different. I don't know. That's arguable. But the thing is, you're really just prejudiced. And you're really you're punching down on black people because you're disillusioned with things that your race has created, or you're ethnic. That's what you're doing. You're ethnocentric. But we'll just say racist for the sake of this video.
Sure.
So you're disillusioned with the way your race has manipulated things because
You see how he broke that down? And look at IHypocrite. And look at Brandon. Okay, Brandon's back is straight. This coward's body structure is limp because really with these words, Brandon is UV radiation punching this fool. With that dominance, that manhood. There's nothing like the black man on this planet. And for those who think not, okay, you bigging up your race as you should. Of course, we get it. But scientifically, homie, right? Biologically, biomolecularly, solarly, come on, man. And then listen, why would you side, my brothers and sisters, my people of color, that the white man has did the same to you? Why would you side with them? To just to prove us wrong? Because we got major confidence? Y'all can't hate the black people. What do you hate the black people for? When we do our own things. It's not a gang of plethora of black people in the Mexican culture like we started the music that y'all love, that we created the tortillas, right? That we cooked y'all food. Black people not doing that. But there's some people that get down with black culture because of proper mixing out of love and things of that nature. Black people are not jumping in white culture and saying we want to be the greatest white man ever. We had to do that back in the day to get up the ladder. We're not jumping in, even though we love kung fu. We put money in the Chinese pocket. Okay, aside from them making fucking everything over here. All right, black people don't have no problem with where the shit come from. If it's a good TV, the Chinese made it versus the white man made it. If it's a white TV, it's a Chinese TV, right? The Chinese TV work better, got more things going on with it than the white TV. It's not about, it's an American thing and we're down for that. That's what white people do. We don't care about that because we are a universal thing. We're going to get that Chinese TV. You know what I'm saying? Brandon keeps punching in with them UV radiation punches all through this mug.
it doesn't work in favor of a significant segment of your race. Black people have been throwing your people alley-oops since 500-600 years ago. Literally, the only reason you were able to have slaves, which built this country, and I'm not saying in the fact that we just did the physical labor, but created an economy that was strong enough to immediately compete with the world powers because you had a unpaid labor force working in the fields, working in factories. Black people in Africa went into interior of Africa and got those slaves for you because you guys couldn't survive for 3 days in the interior of Africa. That's a fact.
And on that note, because some people say, well, y'all enslaved yourselves. Enslavement in Africa been going on for a long time because of the mind state of the straight-haired mankind racists. Okay. But the entry into Africa, do you think it's just about African people and slavery? No. All of the resources, those that made it, they don't talk about that these fucking colonizer intruders came in and they said, man, they got resources. Free labor. Think about it like this today. Let's use Mexicans for an example. Mexicans are some of the hardest, okay, most hospitable when you get down with them and you understand them people on the planet. Okay. They do a lot in America. Okay. He's black and white, right? But really, if you got to get down with the whole dynamic of America, depending on where you are, it's white, black, Mexican, and Chinese. Contributed a lot to the American economy. Okay. Take the white man out of it because the white man is just accepting the money off all of the hard. So let's go back to Mexicans. If you were working the Mexicans right now for free, and you can just get the money, do you know how much money that would be today? Fuck what's going on back then, because they don't seem to understand what free labor fucking means. Okay, and I use Mexicans because Mexicans contributed a lot to American society and culture. Y'all motherfuckers celebrate Cinco de Mayo. You may not know what it stands for, but y'all celebrate Cinco de Mayo. For y'all, that's an opportunity to go out to get some good, better food and drink. If Mexicans were working for free, come on, man.
We brought those slaves to the coast, so all you had to do was load them up and take them to wherever you want them to go. That's called an alley-oop. Us doing something for you that benefited you. Would you argue that point?
I would argue several of the things that you said there.
No, specifically the alley-oop part,
yes,
where blacks went into the interior of Africa, got slaves, brought them to we were complicit, but we brought those slaves to the coast, which made it easier for you to take them and profit from their labor.
I would not argue that black people enslaved their own people and sold them to white people. I would not argue that. That definitely happened.
Right.
I would argue.
He says white people, and then the Jewish thing is going to come up, and he's going to say, we don't connect with the Jews. We don't like the Jews. So I want you to peep that out. Okay. White people is all the white people to us. It don't matter if you German, British, Jew, wherever, Scandinavian, Denmark, Sweden, we don't care. White people is white people. All right.
That it wasn't as big of a deal in terms of turning America into a superpower as you're trying to claim. Africans also enslaved each other, had slaves in Africa. It never turned Africa into a superpower having slaves. There were slaves all over the world, basically. So really, like picking cotton.
No European nation will be a nation without the exploitation of Africa and its resources. Okay? Let's get that shit straight. That's the reason why y'all came out of. Why didn't you stay in your own fucking country? You didn't have to go explore the world, right? But when you explore these better populated countries that have more resources, you stole, you disrespected, you manipulated, you deceived, you lied, right? Your word wasn't bond. Your contracts was filthy and faulty. Okay? No nation, European nation, right, would be where it is today without the exploitation of Africa, its resources, America and its resources, South America and its resources, and the islands and its resources where people of color, darker skinned people come from. Australia, Asia. Europe is Europe. Why are you in Asia? Why are you in Africa? Why are you in South America? Why are you in the islands? Why are you in North America where God did not put you there? Okay? Your God put you at the top in the code. Your intellect come from people of color. Okay? The things that you create is anti-natural. Because that's what you're into. Destroying shit and building your own bizarro world. What is bizarro? Squared up reality in conjunction with Superman. We are in squares. The circle is the perfect shape, but they build squares. Window, square. Roof, square. Prisons, square. And then they call them cells. And true cells of life, are not square.
There wasn't even that many slaves who were brought to America. So I just don't really think, like, I don't look around at the civilization, Western civilization, and think, oh, wow, I owe this to black people.
There's not many slaves that came into America, but yet and still, black Americans is his problem. Okay, so where all of, if they not many slaves came in here, then how we get here? Okay, is that a tick to say we was always here? Right? You see how they try to play
People.
But this is, I'm not saying you owe us anything. What I'm saying is you're very ignorant, because when you say race, you're talking about a bunch of people all over the world. Your ancestors came from Europe. So you have a very narrow view of the situation. And that's probably because you spent more time being a junkie than actually studying this shit. I'm being real with you. So when you say race,
you're a junkie.
Look at Adam. You got to pay attention to Adam. Watch Adam's expressions when that 9 ether is speaking. He's going to show you who he really is. Okay? The brothers should knock all the podcasts from the West Coast should knock Adam's ass out the box. Treat this fool like he would be treated if he was really in the hood trying to really be down. Being there because he really don't have no respect. He's there because he knows if he connects himself, that's protection without paying for it, and he can have street cred, right? And I got a few names to toss around. When if his mom moved him in the hood and he tried to stand up on that, oh, I'm white national, yeah.
You did say that. You did say you were doing drugs.
Messed around with drugs, but
you're a junkie. I never touched drugs. I never smoked weed. I never drank a beer.
Okay,
listen, I never smoked weed, never drunk a beer, never smoked a cigarette. Okay. If you did that, you are a junkie as far as I'm concerned. I'll tell Leslie.
Hey, on that, don't say Brandon is lame with that shit. I'm smoking the weed right now. Okay? But when you think of somebody that's calling themselves a black conservative, you got to think about the 1% black intellectual, wealthy people here. That's a mind state. Okay? So black conservatives would not be fucking indulging in anything. Don't even have nothing to do with religion. It's conservatism. What is conservatism? To conserve who you are the best way that you can. So all of this is shit that we doing, right? All the shit that we really doing, if we didn't do it and create it ourselves, we got to ask ourselves, where did it really come from? And why are we out here like this? We gave it traction, motivation, emotion. Right? But where did it really come from?
I don't care. What I'm telling you is, if I haven't done it, you listen, you decide to play in this arena because you're talking about racial superiority. So we're gonna do that. So what I'm telling you is, the race is more than just in your country. So would you say that slavery had no benefit to the colonial or imperialism of white people?
I mean, in the long run, it had a huge negative effect.
No, I'm talking about initially. So the empire, white.
See, if you were standing on business, Milky, hypocrite, just answer the question. But their natural nature, they don't want to agree. Or see, they're not going to bow down. And so here's the question for Milky. Where do y'all get this confidence to make us think? Black men in America or anywhere, where do you get this confidence where you think that we deem you the better, superior race on this planet, the most beautiful race on this planet? We don't. To us, you're the ugliest race on the planet. This is why you're the ugliest race on the planet. Karen wants a booty now. Their skin want to be darker now. This is why you're the ugliest race on the planet. Because your God is fictitious. Your God is not even natural. It's not nature. Because if it was, you would understand that you have the least amount of melanin on this planet. This is why you're the most ugliest race in thinking. Because you have straight blonde hair. You deem that beautiful amongst yourself. We don't care for it. You have white skin. No black person, unless ostracized badly, will want white skin. Okay? Black skin is not celebrated in America.
Empire did not benefit in any significant way from slavery.
It had probably a small benefit to the small people who owned slaves who personally.
You mean the Queen of England? The king too? That's what I'm saying. Your view is very narrow.
Almost 4,000 enslaved Africans were brought directly to what is now the United States from Africa during the transatlantic slave trade.
But what he said about race encompasses more than just America. Because you're not just American. Where do you descend from in Europe?
Oh, the vast majority were sent to South America and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Only about 3% of that total. Around.
This dude is dumb. He knows nothing. And as you continue to play this, he knows nothing. Look at his body language. Okay. They can't claim the founding fathers unless they are really connected to these families. Some of these white people were degenerates brought over here as indentured servants and brought over here in the 1800s to Ellis Island, poor people. And they came over here and they did their thing, robbing, pillaging, stealing, thieving, and stuff like that. Until there was laws created to separate poor whites from poor blacks, right? And the poor whites were giving more rights, treatments than the blacks. Come on, man.
Almost 400,000, yeah.
But do you know who owned those plantations in South America and the Caribbean? White people.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, you're trying to minimize the impact of slavery, but you're talking about race. When you say race, you're going beyond the boundaries of America. You're telling me that the British Empire, the Spanish Empire, the French Empire, they didn't benefit in any significant way from all those sugar plantations in the Caribbean, all those freaking banana plantations.
Look how he's sitting. Okay. He's now in a more of relaxed states. Brandon's energy is, nigga, this is the sun god. Okay, this is why he breaks it down, man. It's our mind state. We want to connect. We've been connected to them for so long, but we ain't been really scientifically peeping who they are. Okay, and all due respects, we can't be racist. We didn't want it. We didn't say, hey man, y'all did that to us and our ancestors. We're gonna get you back. In fact, that's not even a chance with black people. Y'all did that to us. He's openly talking about slavery, like only 4,000 black people came in here. You see what I'm saying? His state of body language is submissive. They're the homosexual race, right? And we need to understand that. We need to understand that then under brute force and oppression. Mental oppression right now, mental shackles.
In South America, they didn't benefit from none of that.
Well, no, of course they benefited from the plantation
in a major way.
Yes, but the thing is, those wouldn't exist without the white people who went and made them. That's the whole thing. Like all that wealth that was sitting there in Haiti and Jamaica, white people went and were like, we know how to extract this and how to turn it into something. Otherwise, it would just be sitting there.
And they wouldn't exist without the Africans who went into the interior of Africa to capture.
But it wasn't yours in the first place. There were people there, and it was given to those people. Why did you leave your places? So the white man knew how to extract those things. How'd you know it was there in the first place? If you didn't leave your ass up out of your dirty ass infested European countries. That's why you're around the world. Coming from your dirty ass infested countries. Let's dig it, my people. Check this out. To speak properly with proper King's English is an art and a science in itself. Okay. And so they say we speak slang. But that's how you also know that some of these white people came from nothing, and in this system they can become something, but more so they're degenerate. It's because they don't speak properly. They speak with slang. We should be speaking the slang. Okay, and that's how you know that's possibly where they come from. Drugs, porn, incest, promiscuity, lack of God, devil worship. That's what their skin complexion, their biomolecular structure and makeup and cellular makeup, when they come together, that's what they exhibit, these qualities naturally. Okay. And Jesus Christ will allow them to repent for their sins, but nature won't. The sun god isn't. The spirit sun god and sun goddess is always in activation. UV radiation. We need to understand what spirit is. Brain activity. What's the connection? Why do we live? Heartbeat, just go. Beat, beat, heartbeat, like beat to the music. There's no coincidence.
Slaves and bring them to the border like a drive-through.
Yeah, but isn't that an ingenious plot hatched by these evil white people, to be fair?
But the point I'm arguing is he's trying to minimize the contribution black people have made to everything white people, most of the things white people have done that are significant. And I'm saying, no, everywhere you find a successful white person, there was a black person who also in many ways was benefiting, but who basically threw them the alley-oop. I'll give you another example. If I thought you want to say
Yeah,
something.
I didn't-
let's
okay,
focus
like-
on that one first, yeah, before we do more examples.
Two things real quick. Think about it logically. If millions and millions of slaves went to South America, went to Brazil mostly,
Mhm.
places around there, and the slaves were so beneficial, those places should be the big superpowers because they had more slaves. The slaves are not really the big deciding factor. The reason America became the superpower is because they had the best white people basically who made the country. That's first of all. Second of all, whenever you get into these racial conversations, it always turns into, let's talk about history. Let's talk about 400 years ago, because Black people don't want to talk about what's happening right now. The stuff I just brought up with the murders, and there's a whole bunch more things I'm happy to bring up. People don't want to talk about that because it's way harder to defend. We want to go back 300 years and be like, what happened there?
Believe me, we're getting there, but I'm not going to negate or ignore the historical context, because I know that you haven't really considered these things. But what I'm telling you is most of the money made on those plantations went back to the European countries that the people owned them descended from. They paid tax to the crown. They had their main abodes back in their home nation. What I'm telling you is this: the reason America did so well economically is because we were the last people to outlaw slavery. So it makes sense that America economically rose above the rest of the European nations, because
look at the energy. Look at the energy. They are fatigued. Okay. What are they going to do though? Right? Now, in the case of Adam, he's looking up possibly some information. I'll give him a pass. But IHypocrite, look at him. He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to deal with it. He wants to unite the white man. And do what? Because he couldn't defend himself right now. If Brandon went up and start punching on this dude, because you know they'll never be like, unless they got muscles or whatever, they got some backing or something like that. No disrespect, and I'm not saying like all white dudes is soft. Okay. But the average white dude that's carrying guns and all of that stuff, protecting their home, Second Amendment, the average white dude is soft. Soft in the brain. Not athletic at all. Okay? And look, the fatigue is serious. My people. Okay? This might be the awakening right here. We are in a new sun cycle for those who don't know. That means things can only get better for Black people, for those who want to be better as a people. Those that know that we always been a great people. We descend from great peoples. That time is right now. There's a great readjusting of the mind right now. Okay? We are in a time of understanding. We went through the cycles of knowledge and wisdom. It's all about you. You and understanding. Overstanding who you are and what this is all about. What this is all about right here.
Like 1810, before 1810, Britain outlawed slavery and said, if you get caught moving slaves, we're going to destroy your ships. Well, guess what?
You're welcome.
The Americans continued to sneak slaves in, and they also did something called the intra-American slave trade, where they start moving.
What is it about him where he thinks he can enslave Black people, and then we should be thanking? He said, thank you, when the slavery was outlawed. Okay? What gives them that right to feel like, okay, and that when we freed you, it was a blessing to you. It made us better. And see, that's the flawed thinking. And so all my people, man, in America, Mexicans, the Latinos, the islanders from the islands, that we, those that are in here as citizens, have a right to determine, why should we agree with this thinking, man? When some of you people of color have African blood in you, you'll be surprised. You could be the lightest of whatever race you are here, whatever ethnicity you are, and that won't denote that you don't have African blood in you. Why? Because the African is the original human being on this planet. The African is the first being on this planet. And what makes you think we wanted to associate with you, no matter what we was doing to ourselves? Like he said, this is all about our family right here. This is all about our family right here. Okay? When we unite based on what we know this is, no matter what language we speak, no matter what continent we're on, no matter the colonial the bondage, okay? Because all Africans got hit with European colonialism. We got hit with European colonialism. That means the takeover. That means you are not you no more. You're you with a lot of them now. He said, thank you. Hey, this is what I'm excited about, this little no jumper. I'm gonna make sure this spin. Okay, I'm gonna make sure this spin. And that, because it's been an era, and this is probably why I haven't posted as much as I want to, because what I see out there coming from us is a whole lot of fluff. It's a whole lot of hocus pocus. Some of that shit is a whole lot of garbage. We need knowledge, wisdom. And this is Brandon he might be sparking something. Okay? He might be sparking something, because his time up there by himself, look at what he doing. He addressing the true issues.
Slaves around between the Caribbean and in America. So if you hold your slaves the longest, so you gotta have a free labor source the longest, that means you're going to be able to profit from those slaves the longest, which will what? Bolster your economy. Adam, for example, you're a business owner. You own a business?
Technically, but I don't have employees.
Okay, Adam has employees. Adam, imagine a guy with no jumper west across the street. He doesn't have to pay any of his hosts. He has no overhead. Everyone's just showing up working for free. In the realm of capitalism, would he not have a significant advantage over you economically, because you have to pay everybody?
Sure, yeah.
Even provide health insurance in some cases if you have a certain amount. So we're not going to eliminate or negate the fact that America had a major alley-oop from Black people in two ways. We not only brought the slaves to the coast of Africa for you to take them wherever, we also inside of America worked for free for a significant time longer than European slaves, which bolstered the American economy.
Yeah, I just don't think it's that big. I think you're blowing it way out of proportion. We can agree to disagree on that.
No, so we can fast forward in history. 183,000 African-American troops served in the Civil War. The North could not have won without those Black, well, they were African, and they weren't even Americans yet, soldiers. Even Lincoln admitted to that. What's the other guy's name?
That is a fact. Whether you agree with it or not, that is a fact. Okay. And if you think not, go watch Glory. If you study Glory, it's based on the 54th. Now, it may not be all the way accurate, okay? But the 54th in the movie Glory, you know, what they did was a significant contribution to the Union, which got them the win.
I'm already mad at black people. You don't have to convince me.
No, Ulysses Grant admitted to that. Ulysses S. Grant admitted to that.
Yeah.
Those black battalions were a crucial part of the North maintaining the.
I know I keep pausing it. I'm gonna keep pausing it, like I said, until I decide to stop it, man. I just think this is interesting. But the jokes and the laughter and the humor to demean, to try to demean and disrespect and have no honor. You understand what I'm saying? He's there to talk about his fatigue and what's happening to his people. We don't know what people they are, but we just know he don't get along with the Jews. You know, that's when they're, look at him, man. Look at him. He's not even shining. Look at Adam. He's dull. Look at Brandon. He's shining. But y'all don't understand real shine. Y'all think it's chains and jewelry and diamonds and rubies. No, we the real shine. The real shine. You understand what I'm saying? Man, it killed, man. It's like y'all think we care about y'all. Y'all invading in somebody else's homelands. And y'all like, we don't want them around us. Do you understand? Do you understand the nerve? We don't want them around us, right?
The Union and submitting the Confederacy. So everywhere you turn in history, if you're honest, Spanish-American War, again, you guys' immunity, your weakness, internal weakness, prevented you from going to Cuba to fight the Spanish. So you know what you guys did? You know, this is a quiz. What did you guys do when you couldn't with Spain in the Caribbean? What did you guys do to win the Spanish-American War?
I don't actually know. Did we send blacks?
You recruited a bunch of black people
okay.
into the military. Actually, they were already in the military and said that, please go fight for us because we're too weak to fight for ourselves because our immunity isn't up. You were not inoculated. So that's the one thing. You guys have benefited from black people greatly. You understand that black people in many ways.
Well, I mean, Spanish people are European, so that's like a brother war.
The Spanish used indigenous people from Cuba to fight for them. They were also too weak to go into the interior. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is this.
Hey, I'm Max from Slender Bodies. AI music is a perfect way to allow myself to explore things.
To sum it up, white people.
I'm going to sum it up. Okay, so with this whole energy that Brandon is giving him, the way he's sternly, directly laying facts down, he carries out through the whole video. I feel by watching it, right? And I can detect fluff. I'm quite an intellectual. I can detect fluff. Brandon was on 100% go throughout the whole thing. He did not waver at all. And the point that he's proven it, he opened it more and more and more and giving him why his people is the problem, facts with examples. I think his demonstration was on point, right? In fact, when it comes down to those from my circle, the conscious error, right? Those who still debating Yahweh and Judaism and ancient Egyptology and all that stuff, right? See, the West Coast is a little bit different. We had revolutionaries in our cities, in our states, in our environments, in our neighborhoods, standing for Black power. You know? So Brandon standing on this lane, staying in this lane right here, he might have just opened something up. Because I do think that we forgot what we was fighting for. You know what I'm saying? He right now, I'm giving him, based on this video at No Jumper in front of Adam 22. Adam 22 had nothing to say. It was all the God teaching the students, the Greeks, the Romans at the feet. Even though he had his piece to say. You know, we need to get back into American black politics. When we said we ain't fucking with no crackers, we don't dig a pig, right? When it was about the soul, and see, they trying to, like he said, a soul. The IHypocrite said a soulless black kid. We're not soulless. We are the soul. You're soulless. You're a vampire. You're Dracula. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to who we are. I'm black and I'm proud. All that Indian, Native American, I ain't African American. Oh man, that shit's some bullshit. This is what's cracking right now. This is what's cracking right now. Okay? Because you take that shit 1800 years back into the 1800s, we don't know if he'd be a Negro, whether he an Indian or a black or whatever. That's what y'all saying right now, but you trying to separate. No, if that's what it looked like back then, we want to talk about our hypocrite though. What is he benefiting from this brother? Even right now, Adam 22 is benefiting. Okay. Adam 22 got 4.8 million subscribers. 4.88. Is that what that says? Million subscribers? Okay. White culture is tuning in. White culture integrated into our shit. Okay. When Lord Jamar had the debate with the white dude, when Billy Carson had the debate with the white dude Wesley, right, numbers went up, but we're not hearing about them right now. Them same white dudes might still be talking, but are they coming up on your algorithms? If you put any information, I did videos on that shit, on all of Wesley and Carson, Lord Jamar and the other white dude, I don't even know their names. But they got hyped for a minute, right? But what are they doing now in the forms of natural nature, in nature? Okay, what are they, what gas is they blowing out for real? It's not gonna never be for the preservation and conservation of black people. So the victimhood shit is dead. And so once again, go check out the video, Black Conservative and White Racists Go to War in an Intense. Hey, that's even feisty right there. I think this is where No Jumper, right? This is where, okay, you're treading now. You're treading. Fuck all that gangster shit and you don't know about how the gangster protocols and all of that stuff. Fuck that shit. You're on that right there right now, to me. Okay, I'm 51 years old. I was born in 1973. I'm through the era. Rebound off 67, 68, 65. Rebound off that. And so my generation, I know we brought the blackness in the 90s. We brought the blackness. There ain't no way. We ain't dead. Fuck all that Black Lives Matter and all that. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about the real revolutionary liberation mind. Do for self and kind. Real grassroots movement. Now they taking us into synthetic AI. Okay? Now, y'all know, folks, a lot of us is not going to be able to handle the onslaught of AI intelligence. So, you know what they think their thinking is. They don't want us to have none, more of a poverty state. They don't want us to have none. Okay? We got to free the mind. We got to free the mind, man. And it's okay, man, to come back and be positive. Even as a little youngster out there, man, you got your life out there, man. This is the real fight right here. This is why we need y'all. We need the youngsters. Y'all talking about the youngsters like they the YNs. They a whole separate little sub race out of. No, man. These are our sons. These are our nephews. These are our cousins. Our people need guidance. Even if it's gangster, there's some type of construction, some type of formulation of the mind to be hip to guidance, to be guided or disciplined a particular type of way. But what is that is there? Okay, a lack of structure. And these organizations that we create provide the structure, the brotherhood that we need in order to, in a sense, excel. Everything we do is based on structure. You know what I'm saying? Melanin is structure. It's a structured polymer cellular organization of multiplicity. Whether negative or positive, we as Black people, the original son people of God, whether positive or negative, we can function it. But what do we need right now to see right here? The vampires. And with that being said, man, I've talked long enough. This is the longest video I ever done. If you watched it and you got this far in, salute to you. Appreciate your time. I know you don't have to sit there and check out the video, but if it was captivating enough, you know what I'm saying, give a like and sub to the channel. Because like I said, this brother, you need that, man. I'm glad to see he's probably younger than me. I don't know how old he is, right? You know what I mean? But each one teach one, man. We can't forget that. And this brother spoke on nothing but facts. If I had to speak on it, if I had to be a judge, you know what I'm saying? It'd be a 9.0, 10, 8, high 8.7. You understand what I'm saying? Just like you melanin. All right. Y'all hold it down, like and subscribe. GrandKush. Stay great as we are. And until next time, peace.